Hello, everybody, and thank you for being with us on this Friday morning. Hopefully, your Friday is off to a great start. One of the things right now is, the weather has been a big talker. We will have your forecast in just a bit, but for now, I want to welcome you in. We've got some exciting things to share with you this morning, and I want to bring in somebody who always works behind the scenes, but finally, we're going to get to see his face. You guys see me interview a lot of incredible people and whatnot, but there's always somebody behind the scenes that's really making it happen, who's booking the interview, also writing the interview a lot of times as well, and he is the producer extraordinaire. Brandon Before is joining us now, and we're excited to have him with us. Brandon, good morning to you.
Good morning to you. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Atlanta, for having me for the past 3 years.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we've been...
And don't worry, he's not going anywhere right now.
No.
We're excited about them. So, we won't be sharing any news like that on here.
Right.
All right, I'm just checking. Just had to double check.
No.
So, Brandon, we're talking about Juneteenth because we know there's the Juneteenth Atlanta Parade and Festival that is happening this Saturday.
Yep.
It's exciting. You've had a chance to go out there before, and oh boy, did we have a good time.
It was a good time. We saw a lot of people out there. The energy is high.
Yeah.
Our crew is there. Our whole crew is there. The city is there. Mayor Dickens will be there this year. He's the Grand Marshal. We're excited to see him out there. He's excited to be there, meeting everyone. So it's a good time.
It's always a fun time, but even the year that you and I and another one of our coworkers, we did it, it's been probably 3 years?
3 years now, yeah.
And we did have a time out there. We surely did. And we know that anybody who was out there did. But it has changed drastically. Mm-hmm. Not the parade route, and we'll get into that a little bit more, but just seeing the growth. And I got a chance to catch up with one of the organizers regarding how things are going to look tomorrow and how things have looked in the past.
Happy Juneteenth!
Each drumbeat signifying the sound of freedom. Freedom that comes at a cost. Before becoming the Juneteenth Atlanta Parade and Festival we know today, the celebration started as a natural hair show in 2012. Organizer Brad Lewis says by 2014, there was a need to expand, and the organizers made a promise to seniors in Atlanta's West End.
We were inviting people out. We were going through the neighborhood, and there was a senior assisted living space. And they were outside, and we were passing out flyers.
Citing health reasons, many of them wouldn't be able to attend.
So we just came up with the idea. It was like, you know what, let's just take the festival to them. So we pulled some people together, some shaker rays, some drummers, dancing. They had jump rope.
At the time, there were only about 20 people involved, but now more than 130 organizations are a part of it, representing all cultures.
I see the melting pot of what Juneteenth is, and it's not just an African-American thing at this particular point. It's really a citywide, nationwide, and really a worldwide kind of space that people are coming out and demanding that freedom is at the top of the agenda.
Thousands line the streets of downtown and midtown, and the parade is still evolving.
You're going to start seeing floats that represent our entire history.
But no matter how far or wide the route grows, the mission and movement remains the same.
Solidarity is really what makes supporting Juneteenth Atlanta something that I think everyone should do. If we don't support those things that help people come together, then you really do yourself a disservice, because at that particular point, you're almost investing in division.
Brooks Baptiste, Atlanta News First. Now, look, when you see a story like that, that lets you know that it's going to be a great time. And like you said, Brandon, it's going to be high energy.
Yes.
And it's really a celebration of culture, of Black culture, of Atlanta's culture. And that's the most exciting part about it.
Yes, because when you think Atlanta, you think all of the rich history and civil rights. You think, it's kind of, I feel like people feel empowered and embody that freedom when they come out to the parade. So it's definitely a good time. We just learned that Mayor Dickens he'll be at the parade.
Going to be there.
He'll be there.
But he's no longer going to be the
longer
Grand
Grand
Marshal,
Marshal.
and it's because of a scheduling conflict. So we
Yes.
did want to update you guys about that. That is new information that we have just learned. But again, he's still going to be out there.
He will be there.
But he just won't be the Grand Marshal this time. So we don't know what that looks like as far as, if there's another person that'll fill in to be the Grand Marshal or if the parade will go on without. I'm not quite sure. Yeah. But of course, we will let you know. We do want to talk about the history of Juneteenth because we talk about the history of Atlanta, and we know tomorrow's parade is really going to celebrate the culture of Atlanta. Like you said, Brandon, this is what many would say the home of the civil rights movement. We know Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. being here and all of the great work that he and, Ambassador Andy Young, so many of the fathers and forefathers who have really been here to bring us to where we are. But Juneteenth hadn't even been a federal holiday for a very long time.
A long time. 2021,
Yeah.
June 17th, 2021, when then President Joe Biden signed it into law, which, I mean, we think about that. That's really, 4 years ago at this point?
Yeah, just a few.
Yeah, and I remember learning of Juneteenth for me was probably right before 2020. So, I think this holiday has really grown in its recognition and how we celebrate it. And I know Mayor Dickens, one thing he said is he's like, we're looking to turn it up even more here in Atlanta when it comes to the Juneteenth celebrations. We have a lot of different celebrations. We have St. Patrick's Day. We have just year-round celebrations. And he's looking for this one to have that same level of recognition and energy and respect around it. So it's definitely good to see the growth.
Yeah, it's growing. And Brandon, you likely remember, we've both been working in news for quite some time now, and you likely remember when there was a lot of uproar regarding the death of George Floyd. There are a lot of things that were changing in our country then, and still to this day, there are a lot of things that are changing. But that was where, shortly after that, when Juneteenth then became a federal holiday, but Brandon, there were a lot of people who still didn't know the meaning behind Juneteenth. They said Juneteenth, it sounds like a mix of the month of June and 19, which is true,
yes.
But they didn't know the true history about this being the true end when the last slaves found out about the Emancipation Proclamation. They knew then, okay, we have been free. But prior to that, slavery had technically ended, but they didn't know. They were still, there was no social media back then.
Right.
So there was
you
nobody.
couldn't just call up a friend and let them know. Yeah. So imagine that. There were people in Texas who didn't know about it for years afterwards. And I just think about that like, wow. And I just think about the communication of it all, right? So like we said, we couldn't text, we couldn't call, you couldn't tweet it, we couldn't share this way. So people were living in the dark for a hot minute. And so I just think about the freedom that they must have felt, learning that, oh, wow, we truly are free now. And kind of what does that look like now? And I think we're definitely able to give them that passion and expression nowadays. So.
Well, we've been talking about the mayor, Mayor Andre Dickens, and all that, we learning that he's no longer going to be the Grand Marshal. But earlier this week, our anchor, Blair Miller, got a chance to catch up with him just about how important Juneteenth is to our city.
So when it comes to Juneteenth, what does it mean to you?
Yeah, Juneteenth means freedom to me, going all the way back to when slavery was occurring, and the horrible history of slavery gets to this Juneteenth point of June 19th of 1865, and the Emancipation Proclamation has now told everybody that Africans are free. And so now we get to this point where we can celebrate our freedom. And it's a big deal to be able to have it as a federal holiday, to be able to have Juneteenth celebrated across the world, across the nation. So it means freedom to me. It means that this country has progressed to try to live up to its creed.
I've heard people say before, they when they talk about Juneteenth, they talk about specialists just like you were. But they'll also say, this is something that is long overdue.
Oh, absolutely. Juneteenth has been long overdue for us to celebrate it. You know, it started being celebrated in Texas, and now across the nation it's being celebrated. Here in Atlanta, you know, when I was growing up, we didn't really celebrate Juneteenth, didn't have it as a federal holiday, obviously, but now this is something that we celebrate and we remember and we reflect with parades and festivals. Here at City Hall, we have, it's a holiday here as well. Everybody's off work and encouraged to celebrate Juneteenth, do something in remembrance. You know, I've sent out messages to all of the staff about it. So it is important for us to remember the history and to carry forward in the future by being able to celebrate that moment and to make sure that we know that Juneteenth is still here and it's here to stay and to be celebrated.
You say that. It's here to stay. Mm-hmm. At the same time, I've heard people say with the tone and everything coming out of Washington, they worry about that. We've seen some even talk about dialing it back for Juneteenth in some federal agencies. When you hear that, what do you think?
Yeah, we're not dialing it back in Atlanta. We're looking to dial it up. More parades, more festivals, and in the future, even more activities where it's really front and center for everyone to know. Because we can't wipe away the history. We have to be able to make atonement for that history, but also to move forward with the celebration of where we are now. And I know across the country, particularly in Washington right now, the tone has changed and individuals are trying to wipe out some of these things that we do to celebrate our diversity and to celebrate where we've come from and almost to eliminate some of these things. But that's not, we can't do that. We shouldn't stand for anyone erasing anyone's history, whether you're a big leader, a president, a senator, or anybody. You can't wipe out the history of a people. You can't forget the past because you're going to be doomed to repeat it if you forget it, and no one wants that past to ever come back. So Juneteenth is to be celebrated, is to be remembered, and it's certainly never to be forgotten.
We talk about that parade. When the parade's happening, and you're in that parade, and I've seen you in parades, you like a good parade.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you to be able to celebrate Juneteenth with a parade, being there, and just really soaking it in? Do you get a moment to soak it in?
Yeah, I do. So I'm the marshal of the parade this year, so I take a great pride in that. So I'll be able to wave to the people that are passing by, be able to cheer on the folks that are in the parade with us. You know, we have parades for St. Patrick's Day. We have parades for, 4th of July. We have parades for a number of things that I can mention that we do in the city of Atlanta and across the nation. The Christmas parade, the Thanksgiving parade. We just had a Caribbean parade festival, 404-day parade. Well, it's also important for us to celebrate Juneteenth with the parade. And I'm going to be really happy to be a part of the parade. I've been in the parade in years past, but now I'm the marshal, the person that gets to be the parade marshal, high-fiving folks and pumping them up. And it's going to be a real good time. And it's a way for us to, make sure that it gets the just due that it deserves.
We talk about how far we've come to get to this point. How much more do we have to go?
Yeah, we've come a mighty long ways. If you think about the fight for civil rights from everyone from Martin Luther King Jr. to John Lewis, all the way up to Maynard Jackson when he became the first African-American mayor for this city, to keep going forward on those legacy of those shoulders that we stand on, and the women in the struggle from Coretta Scott King to all the others that have really helped shape Atlanta to be better. But as a nation, from Frederick Douglass and everyone else, we have to continue to honor those people that did these amazing things. And then it's now our time. We live in this generation. What are we going to do to be able to help others, to be able to serve our country, serve our city, to make it a better place, to help raise our children with understanding of differences and identities, but also very reflective of our history. So we'll never repeat it. And to go forward together, because we're stronger together. And that's something I always say. Atlanta is a group project, and we have to do these things together. And that's why I draw circles and not lines, is what I talk to people about, is drawing circles, bringing us closer. So anyone that is looking for something to do, let's do Juneteenth very well and celebrate this year.
You, I know growing up you looked up to Andrew Young.
Yeah.
And I see the book over there, which reminded me of it. How much pressure do you feel to really, I don't know if get it right is the word, or really live up to that legacy?
Yeah, it's a big legacy to live up to. I wanted to be mayor since I was 16 years old when Andrew Young was the mayor of Atlanta. So as long as I can remember, I was looking up to him. And now I get to see him all the time. We have each other's phone number. We talk about things. He's extremely supportive and knowledgeable. He's got wisdom. His reach and influence is all over the world. So he's given me big shoes to fill. And I take it with a badge of honor to even be able to serve in the same office that he served in. He's an amazing leader, somebody that really embodies servant leadership and unity. And so I think that when we talk about Juneteenth, you really are talking about the continuation of great leadership like Ambassador Andrew Young, who was a mayor, a congressman, and a civil rights leader.
The importance of Juneteenth to Atlanta. How important do you think it is to this city?
Yeah, Juneteenth is important to the nation, and therefore it must be important to Atlanta, the cradle of the civil rights movement, this place that holds so much of Black excellence, Black history, the historically Black colleges and universities. The largest concentration of Black students in the nation are right here in the city of Atlanta. The minority businesses that have really created the economic engine of our African-American, families to be so successful here. The history of America actually passes through Atlanta when you think about honoring Dr. King and John Lewis. These individuals served and served and gave their life and time in the city of Atlanta. So much of Juneteenth is about how we overcome. And Atlanta is instrumental in how things have gotten better, from our rights to our freedoms to our economic opportunities to everything in between. Our families are better because Atlanta has a history of standing on the shoulders of giants, and those giants are my heroes.
What else you want to say?
Happy Juneteenth, everybody.
You were funny.
We love that. We love that. So we know it's going to be a great time. Now, Brandon, we're just getting some new information into the newsroom. According to organizers of the Juneteenth Atlanta Parade and Festival, we are told that former Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms is going to be the Grand Marshal now. That's what we're learning again from organizers of the Juneteenth Parade. We are working to confirm that independently with her folks, because we know she is obviously running for governor, which she announced just a couple of weeks ago. So we'll be sure to stay on top of that, and we'll let you know if we hear any more regarding that. All right, Brandon, let's take them to the parade route.
Let's.
It's here on the screen. We're not going to go through every street.
Right, but we are starting. Follow when you see the big old parade. That's the parade.
Just get in line. No matter of fact, stay on the sidelines. Don't get in line. I shouldn't say that. But we'll be starting in downtown. It's going to end in Midtown at Piedmont Park, and that's where the real party is happening.
Oh yeah, listen, we got vendors, food.
Bounce houses.
Bounce out. Listen, when's the last time you went in a big old bounce house?
And they say they're for the adults too.
Yes, that's the most
crazy
important
part. So if you've been thinking about it, don't worry, you'll have your chance. Brandon, one of the things that I'm excited about too is they tell me that they're going to be doing, boots on the ground. Where them fans at?
Where the fans
They've
at?
got a big piece of a celebration that they're going to be doing out there.
Are you rehearsed? Are you prepared?
Well, you did just see me last weekend try that, and I'm still missing that turn. There's something about the turn that I just can't get right now.
We'll have to get you in a little rehearsal tonight.
Yeah, we will see. But Brandon, nice job. It's great to have you with us today, and hopefully we'll be seeing more of Brandon as well. For now, we do want to take you live outside to Truist Park as we get ready to talk about your forecast. First Alert meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi is here. Courtney, several First Alert weather days, and I said this earlier, this only happens when it's Father's Day weekend. This doesn't happen. Come on, man. Can y'all give us a break? Here I am celebrating Father's Day. We've got rain. Here I was celebrating my birthday. We've got rain. But let it be your birthday or let it be Mother's Day weekend or something. This never happens. It's always for the dads. Yeah.
Sunshine in the festivities on my birthday. We expected nothing less and accept nothing less. Yeah, I know. I hate it. We have so much going on this weekend between Father's Day, of course, the Juneteenth parade and festival this weekend. The Braves are back in town as well. So lots going on. Unfortunately, this very unsettled weather pattern does continue going into the upcoming weekend. Bearer of bad news. Gotta be me. All right. I'm First Alert meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi. That was fun, wasn't it? Brandon and Brooks are always a good time. All right. So Friday, Saturday, and now Sunday, First Alert weather days. I think it's going to have a moderate impact on your weekend. It is not going to be an all-out washout. You will be able to get out and enjoy your weekend, but you do have to be weather aware because afternoon storms and evening storms are going to impact your plans in some capacity. It's all thanks to this upper-level low that's developing out to our west. It's bringing rain right now all across the plains, the Mississippi River Valley, and essentially around an area of low pressure. Wind flows counterclockwise, so that's pulling in southwesterly flow from the Gulf and pulling in all that Gulf moisture to allow our atmosphere to take advantage of and bring us these scattered showers and thunderstorms each day. This pattern will eventually break down. We'll talk about when over the next few minutes here. Let's take you through today because, again, today kind of kicks off a string of First Alert weather days. Still going to be plenty warm and muggy with temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. It's going to feel a little warmer, very summer-like day. We've had a few showers out there this morning. Can't rule out a couple of light showers through your lunch hour. But going into the early afternoon, when we start to heat up, that's when scattered showers and storms are really going to start to bubble up. So you'll just want to be weather aware through the afternoon and evening today. No severe threat today, but just because of the energy we have out there, gusty wind, heavy rain, frequent lightning, all things to kind of be mindful of in any storms that develop later today. Going into 8 o'clock tonight. So I do think while we have the chance for scattered storms for your evening commute, I think after sunset tonight, if you have any plans, maybe you are headed to Truist Park tonight, if you have any later evening plans, that's when I think the greatest coverage of showers and storms will be later tonight, so after 8 o'clock. While I do think that, again, the Braves game could have a brief storm delay today. If you have any late dinner plans, you might run into a passing shower if you have any dinner plans tonight. But the best coverage of rain, models have been pretty consistent, will roll in after 8 o'clock tonight and continue through about midnight. Tomorrow, hands down the wettest day of the 7-day forecast. So unfortunately, that is going to impact the Juneteenth parade and festival tomorrow. Parade kicks off at noon. 30% coverage of showers and storms, so we might have a storm in the area for the kickoff, but going through the parade, hanging out at Piedmont Park where all the festivities are, around 3 o'clock, it does look like scattered storms will be fairly likely. So just kind of when you're making your way out and about to the parade and festival tomorrow, kind of be scanning and see where's a spot that you can kind of head indoors until the storms pass, but expect some storms to linger maybe half an hour to an hour as they're passing on by. So unfortunately, it does look like your plans will be interrupted tomorrow afternoon, and we'll hold on to scattered storms even into the evening after 7 o'clock. Taking you hour by hour with First Alert Futurecast here, just to give you kind of an idea. So here's a look at 3 o'clock. Again, all of this activity kind of ushering in from the south with that southwesterly Gulf flow there. So scattered storms likely around 3 o'clock. Now, tomorrow, it does look like we'll have a little more instability. That upper level low is moving a little closer to us. So we'll just have a little more umph, if you will, in the atmosphere for maybe an isolated severe storm tomorrow. We don't have an organized severe threat, but just kind of looking at the dynamics of the heat of the day, so the fuel for storms, and that upper level low providing a little extra lift in the atmosphere. I do think that tomorrow an isolated severe storm will be possible, especially after 3 o'clock. 5 p.m., a few scattered storms still possible across Metro, including the city of Atlanta. And it does look like tomorrow will dry out after sunset. So if you have any after sunset plans tomorrow, not saying it's going to be completely dry because I don't believe that, but it does look like it will be drier after sunset. Sunday, of course, is Father's Day. We'll get to that forecast in a second. I want to talk about the storm threats for the weekend storms. So again, no severe threat expected, no organized severe threat, but we're not going to completely rule out a strong storm, maybe 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts. An isolated severe storm can't be completely ruled out with 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. The damaging wind threat will be the greatest in any of these storms that develop. And I kind of err on the side of caution of saying damaging wind. More so gusty wind will be our greatest threat. Flooding is a low-end threat. We had a couple of flash flood warnings yesterday. That could very well be the case going into this upcoming weekend as well. The ground is saturated, so with more heavy rain expected, isolated flash flooding will be a possibility. And then lightning will be a high threat. Any of these storms are going to be electric. We have a lot of fuel for these storms. And lightning can be 5 times hotter than the sun, just to put it in perspective. It's dangerous. When you hear thunder, when thunder roars, head indoors. Great thing to keep in mind this upcoming weekend and for the entire summer months. Sunday is Father's Day. Now, The difference on Sunday is, as this low is passing by us, our wind is going to start coming in, not necessarily from the southwest, but more so from the west. And what that's going to do is pull in some slightly drier air, so our moisture content won't be quite as high. So I do think that our rain chance will start to go down a little bit on Sunday. It is still the first alert weather day because we know it's Father's Day. You have plans for Dad on Sunday. If you want to get out on the golf course, if you want to go over to the lake, if you're heading to the pool, the chance for storms is there mostly in the afternoon and evening. And you'll just want to watch out for lightning. That's why we're giving you that first alert weather day, because there's just so much going on this weekend. With that chance for storms, we just want to make you extra aware. Going into next week, you'll notice those rain chances go down. We're not looking at a 60 to 70% coverage of rain. We're looking more so 30 to 40. Beyond Thursday, it looks like a cold front starts to move through, and then we'll start to dry out Friday into next weekend. So hopefully next weekend we'll have a completely different tune to sing compared to this weekend. But we will stay unsettled at least through Thursday, with hopefully the forecast pattern trending drier by next Friday. We will cross our fingers on that. Really important tool to have this weekend, the First Alert Weather app. If you're going to be outside, make sure you have a way to just be alerted of rain and storms in your area. It is just a fantastic tool to have so you could stay weather aware through the upcoming stormy weekend. All right, everyone, thanks so much for spending some time with us here on Atlanta News First Plus. We always appreciate it, and we will catch you here next time.
Stay up to date on your latest weather from the largest team of meteorologists in the Southeast. Download the First Alert Weather app for hour-by-hour forecasts and join us every weekday at 11:30 a.m. on ANF+. You can also text weather to the number on your screen, and we'll send a link directly to your cell phone.